What's going on, Board Wars Nation, and welcome back to another episode of the official Board Wars podcast. I'm here, as always, with the 0-2 captain himself, JD. Sorry about that.
Whoa.
JD. I don't mean to bring up bad memories, but
whoa.
Listen. Usually you're the stupendous JD. Sometimes we gotta have some bad.
I see how it is. This is the first time we're starting off the pod like this. Okay. All right.
When did you start last season? Did the Astro Bears start in similar fashion last year?
I
feel like you guys won early.
It was very close. We started off with a rookie going 10 kills, third place, and then Max played the second game and won, which I thought, I was hoping for a similar recipe there. If you see, we had a very similar game one, 9 kills, offensive third place, and I was hoping the switch of a play style would catching people off guard. That's what the plan was.
I get that, absolutely. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work out the way it did, and this was just in all a crazy week.
Yeah,
JD. I mean, week 2, we really, I think, went into this week expecting, I don't know, the game to be played maybe differently.
100%.
There were some crazy. I mean, we're gonna get into our game recap in a minute here, but. There was some crazy stuff, but congratulations, Mr. Java got the first win of his career. That's insane.
That is insane. That is something I think the league's all been waiting for. I think we've talked about Mr. Java quite a bit on here, and what he was missing was a win. That is what he was missing from the win column. He had 0 in there, but he has one now, and it was an impressive win. And obviously, we'll get more into it. But congrats, Mr. Java.
Right. Seriously. And with that, I mean, the Raptors are on top of the Moon Division. The Waffles are on top of the Sun Division.
Undefeated.
And it's early. That is true. The first, I wrote that down, the first franchise since the Barbecue Beavers in season 1 be undefeated, truly. Which is hilarious. I mean, you would think that the second game of season 1, someone would have been undefeated, but no. The Cuties who lost week 1 won week 2. So, I mean, I don't know. Craziness, man. Absolute craziness.
Crazy.
But I mean, we anticipated the Waffles to kind of get off to a slower start. And I remember people were commenting how in our episode of the podcast last week, our formula, which has still never been right? I don't think because who did our formula predict? Do you remember?
It was Max. Formula predicted this week.
They predicted Max.
Yeah.
It's never been right. Our winning formula
I don't know if we can call it the winning formula. I think we might just have to call it the formula. I don't know.
The formula of what should happen in theory. But people pointed out the reason we had Java lower in the rankings is because we anticipated them not having that kind of tight-knit chemistry immediately.
Yeah, we were wrong.
Very clearly. I mean, you can even go back and watch the stream. You can hear them talking in the background. You can hear I don't know, the joyous Waffles. And I don't know, JD, you were a new captain last season.
Yeah.
I was a new captain once upon a time for an expansion team. That is really not easy from my perspective. I mean, you would agree, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%. The fact that because if you were part of the game, you could hear, sometimes it would be unmuted. You could hear the collaboration. When teams are working together, when they're not working together. You could quickly tell they're working together, multiple of them. One, that's rare just in the league itself, just a team sense. For a rookie team, that's also super rare. For the first game ever, definitely none of the. I know for a fact the Astro Bears weren't that like that day one. I'm sure any other team day one were not like that. So that's impressive by Mr. Java, the work that he put in this summer and his players to have that knowledge of the game to be helping him to a victory. Very impressed with both the Waffles.
Seriously. Well, and that kind of begs the question. We had the Waffles early on in our way too early season predictions, missing the playoffs or the wild card round. Which now it's looking, I mean, again, it's very early, right? There's plenty of time for other teams to catch up to the Waffle hype train. But maybe we were wrong, JD, and that is going to throw a lot of things into question. I mean, we thought the Cuties were going to be a shoo-in for the cup, Starting 0-2. I mean, you thought the Bears were going to be a shoo-in for the Cup. Starting 0-2. And there are 14 games left for the Cuties and Bears to obviously change that. But that is kind of a concerning start. I mean, as one of those two teams, I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I think it's very interesting. I think it is that's a great start for the Wellfleet Waffles. I think maybe they're going to be a lot better off the start than we think. It's still, I mean, it's very early in the season. Obviously, you get the win off first. That's good. It's still only one win above every other team. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's huge. I mean, at this point, because I think the big determining factor was we know Mr. Java is good at producing other players. And we saw that with the Jets. They got wins. The problem was Mr. Java was unable to get wins, which was the reason they didn't get over the hump. If Mr. Java just had one win, they're over the hump and they make the playoffs and the Bears don't. So the captain was the determining factor in sense of his gameplay. Now that John has won a game and is proving he can win games, I think that completely changes it, at least in my mind, where I would have the Waffles. Now that I know they have a captain who can win and a captain who can produce winners, that completely changes the rankings from my preseason, them not making it to, at this point in time, like I would have them above a lot of teams because of just this one game. Not just they have one win over people, they've shown already that they can win.
Yeah, no, it's very true. And I think that kind of also ruffles our feathers going into this upcoming week, which we'll get into at the end of the pod. But the Crows now are going to make their debut. And these newer teams, the Crows and the Waffles, we had lowered down in our ratings just because we weren't sure how they were going to hit the ground running. But I mean, I don't know. That to me kind of makes me feel maybe we're underrating the Waffles because they're a new team. Maybe we're going to do the same for the Crows. And I mean, they could start off the season just as strong, which I again, we didn't expect that.
No, I mean, we had them a lot lower, but I think maybe it's kind of following the trend. We know obviously the expansion teams we've seen so far with the Dragons and the Bears, I think both exceeded expectations, both making the playoffs, both coming short, but both getting wins early off in the season. And maybe we were misguided to think the Waffles and the Crows were different. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, we obviously know that Mr. Java got that exciting win, but let's go to the next segment where we see how the sausage gets made.
All right, Gus, we're now moving on to the game recap from Game 2 of Season 4. We heard a lot of positive feedback how last podcast, if you were watching, we kind of hit a little breakdown, top 5 moments where the game kind of changed, and we kind of walked through the stream as we were doing it, and we heard that people actually enjoyed that. So we decided I think we should do that again. I heard that you were taking a lot of notes this game. Obviously, I was part of this game, so I have a lot of thoughts on this game, how it went diplomacy-wise, the X's and O's, how people actually performed. I'm sure I have my grades for letter grades for these players. I'm sure you do as well. But you were telling me how you actually have a lot of key notes you kind of wrote down, and it would be kind of helpful maybe if we started walking through that and you kind of just started off with your first one.
Sure, JD. And I mean, setting this up, we've talked about how, the path for Mr. Java's first win, it was a long and treacherous one. And now he's finally made it to the promised land. But I think the question becomes, was the path to El Dorado a calm one, or was it maybe a bumpy ride with a lot of stuff contributing to it? That obviously remains to be seen, but we can get into it first with our first major contributing factor. Like you were saying last week, we did our top 5, and we have our 5 here today, starting with a very unusual situation, JD. Now, chances like this come around once in a lifetime for a player. This is the perfect moment to make something happen. What you are looking at right now is the beginning of Akiodub's turn on, what is this? Turn number 3 here.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
This is insane. He knows for a fact at the end of his turn, he is going to not only get Death Star, but he's going to get, I think, Istanbul twice. Absolutely nuts. There is 180 damage that can be done to this board. This is a huge moment. what Akiodub does here could set him up for one of the easiest wins we've potentially ever seen. To just comprehend the impact of this, he can go over to Max Power and say, hey, Max, you need to give me like 5 turns of freedom. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal 100 damage to your top guy, Barry Bonds, and I'm going to do 80 damage. Probably, if you can see over here, he's probably going to do that 80 damage to Finn and Jake.
Yeah.
And then, boom, you've got 2 guys in Pacific Rim and Randy Orton. You're done. Like, this is turn 3. Your game is over, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is the type of power that Akiodub is holding in his hands right now. He could say the same thing to Calbrus. Hey, listen, Calbrus, give me 2 turns or 5 turns of freedom. You could ask whatever you want. You have all the power of bargaining here. Or I'm going to do Cristiano Ronaldo 100, take him out of the game. I'm going to do over here, you can see Darrell Revis with Wallace and Gromit, 80 damage to them. That takes out Wallace and Gromit, takes out the top card, and puts your diamond down to 10 health. Kyle is done. He's out of the game. There's no chance. So much of his recover strategy that you'll see in the future comes from the fact he has Wallace and Gromit. Akiodub doesn't do any of that, but he could have. He could have said, hey, Max, give me some time. Hey, Kyle, give me some time. And he could have put this damage on our man, Mr. Java. Now, this is what I personally would have done, JD.
Okay.
You're looking at this position. You've got a lot of things going on here, but 180 damage, that is the time to get aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Why Mr. Java? I would say Mr. Java because right now, him and Mr. Java are sharing Dragon Quest over here in this corner, right? Which, just for the record, I don't think you should ever share anything with anybody who's maybe not ever, but making compromises such as I'll take this area, you take this area, is so much greater than, okay, we're both feeding off of this resource together. Especially with a player like Java who has Jerry Rice, a player who is going to get stronger the longer the game goes on. That is a team that builds up. I don't want to contribute that by giving you access just to the entirety of Dragon Quest. So if you go and take Mr. Java out, that opens up a huge door because you can just infect and take over his entire part of the board. Pair that with the fact that you can leverage that from immunity from Max, immunity from Calbrus, and you could not only have Dragon Quest all to yourself, JD, but you could have turns upon turns of uncontested Dragon Quest building up your guys, and then going into a 3-person free-for-all, going into the apocalypse with just the best numbers and the best stats. I think that's what Akiodub should have done. How would he have done it? I think this is the best way. He's got Dragon Quest over there. You can't see it, but he has 90 points over here from Dragon Quest. Mm-hmm. What I would do if I were him is I would put Captain Rex in here. I would give +4 attack to Star-Lord, +1 speed with Lord Licorice. Lord Licorice goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because he has that extra speed. And he is going to go attack All Might. Before that happens, Star-Lord is going to get his attack going, which has +4 because of the points, which is 11 to the 3rd, because he has the upgraded dice tier in the hero gem. He is going to go over to Zuko, who currently has a defense of 4, and he is going to kill him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If he gets 2 attack from this, we know this because of how he rolls at the beginning. He puts those 2 attack towards Zuko. That is more than enough. 11 to the 3rd is more than enough to kill Zuko in that moment. The reason it's 4 defense is because of the hero gem. And if you're worried about it, JD, you can use Captain Rex to give you advantage in the game. That's very easy. Zuko is 100% dead. He's 100% out of the game. The next thing you're going to do is, obviously after that, like I said with Lord Licorice, attack All Might. You're probably going to kill him, but even if you don't, Lord Licorice, this team was built to be offensive because he can send you anywhere. Just send All Might, if you don't kill him, in Kyle's spawn, anywhere off the board, far away, out of sight, out of mind. Use 100 of your 180 damage on Jerry Rice, and then I just forgot, JD, but you have 80 damage after that. As long as you do 5 damage with Lord Licorice, you can use that other 80 damage on All Might. Done.
That's a team
Out
wipe.
of the game. That is gone. You now have entire access to Dragon Quest. You now have entire access to all of Mr. Java's resources, his side of the board. With All Might, you have access to the power gem from killing him. Again, assuming you do 5 damage with Lord Licorice, which is, very probable. And look at that, JD. Akio Dub on turn 3 has pretty much started the apocalypse, but he can dink and dunk if he wants to. He's removed an enemy from the game, and he seized all of this territory. That is the power that Akio Dub holds in his hands. Instead of doing that, JD, what he actually does is he uses the 100 damage on Calbras, who is across the board. Again, that damage, because it's across the board, he's not getting any space from that. He's throwing that out at somebody who A, isn't a threat to him right now, but B, like Mr. Java, if you attack him, you're seizing his territory. You can't get over there and reap any benefits from that at all, JD. The other damage he sends, the 80 damage after that, he sends on Dragon Quest to get those points, which, I mean, as you'll see later in this game, are inconsequential. The stat increases are because of certain apocalypse-related events. But, I mean, JD, he went from taking out an entire team, potentially seizing all of their territory, to leaving his neighbor untouched and making a guy across the board mad, which, I mean, if in my mind, if you're going to attack Calbras, at least also do the 80 damage and take out Wallace and Gromit and Darrell Revis. I mean, the revive potential with that spawn that has Mercy's Office,
Baxter.
Minecraft Village, Baxter, right? And Wallace and Gromit, who can easily get points for Mercy's Office with their item potential. I just think leaving Calbras in that angry but also capable position, it's just a bad play all around, JD. I think this is my first big moment. It could have been huge for Akio. It could have sent him high up in the win probabilities, but I think he really squandered it, JD.
Yeah, I think you put that really well. He was definitely in a position where the entire board was scared of him. He did a little bit of what you said. He reached out to Max, or I guess Max reached out to him first. Max like, hey, I'm going to come over and TARDIS you. He said it in a nice way, but he said, basically, I'm going to TARDIS over you unless you can promise not to hit me. And he gets a little bit in return. He gets, I think it was like 4 turns Max won't use TARDIS offensively on him. A very vague truce there. Just through Max, he could have gotten so much more value out of that trade because he was kind of holding the pieces. But also with John, I think you're correct. The possibility of team wipe, because even with Lord Licorice, he could have hit him. He could have teleported him All Might to the same tile as Jair Rice, being able to hit them multiple times right there.
Very true.
It would have been a team wipe. He would have had Dragon Quest to himself. Yeah, that was definitely a blunder there. I think he was trying to not get enemies early in the game, which we see quite a bit. But I think when you have 180 damage capacity with you, I think that is the time. That's when it crosses the line of it's time to go offensive.
You have to. And JD, I don't think, again, we talked about in our hot takes episode, people kind of give a false dilemma of offense versus politics. But again, I really think your offensive potential can pave the way for just easy politics. Like Max and Kyle, they would have no choice but to take that deal, right? And so, and then you have to imagine, because they can't attack Akio, that they're probably going to go for each other recently soon, especially in the apocalypse. They're getting condensed. They're sharing resources. I really don't think an action in this scenario is possibly, and I could even maybe see, I couldn't actually see like fully committing to passivity in this situation, but he didn't even fully do that. He poked Kyle anyway.
Yeah.
And it just, all around, JD, just a rough first play from Akio Dub, but he's not out of the game here. Kyle takes a big hit. He's going to have to lay low for a while, but that will take us to our second big moment, unless there's anything you have to say about this play.
No, I think you said it all. I think we're ready for the second big play for this game. I think we've already seen this is already an interesting game right here. There's already been some pivotal moments, decisions that we couldn't make. I think there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Mr. JD. This next moment really is a big moment here, but this really spells out the undoing of, unfortunately, your player, Max Power.
Yeah.
Now, before I kind of go into this play, it's turn 6 that this is happening now.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of building up to this point, and I don't know if you can look around in this this stream here, JD, but there's so much happening on the board. There's so much building and powers, and it's just waiting to explode. And Max is traditionally a defensive player who finds himself in an offensive position. What was the Bears' game like up until turn 6?
Yeah, so before this, obviously Max was kind of giving this a more offensive team. We were kind of chilling with Kyle over there. We were in this weird standoff between, because obviously the Cuties and the Waffles were definitely a little scared of Barry Bonds, and especially when he grabbed TARDIS. So we were in a position of power, but at the same time, we weren't trying to capitalize it on quite yet, hoping that someone else would pop the bubble, that maybe the Accio would go after John because they're that close and they're sharing that tile. So that's what we were waiting for, at least maybe people to get a little bit more lower. When that started not to happen, we started to realize that these teams are building like crazy. They're getting to the 9 defense. Our 10 to the third, 11 to a third attack with Bonds isn't going to do enough on a defensive 9 to fully attack them. So that's when we grab Baxter and we start prepping for the end game, whether it's points for Death Stars to get tile-wide damage or for revives. We start piling it up. And at this point, once we've seen these teams aren't going for each other, Max kind of makes a decision that he kind of has to start to go on the offense here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's the right decision, obviously. And we will see, I guess, just kind of how this decision actually plays out. Because there's one thing deciding to play offense. There's another thing about doing it the right way and the smart way here. So it starts really here at the end of turn 6. Little like nitpick. I think Barry Bonds should have pulled the trigger on the clone spell. I know that might be jumping the gun here, but these next 2 plays you get really offensive, and it would have been really nice for your second turn after this one, which is really what most of this moment number 2 is about, JD, is the next turn. But like I don't put that into my calculations of what I think should have happened instead, but small little nitpick there. But what Max does here is he actually makes the play to damage Jerry Rice with the Baxter building. Now, I think this is actually a great play. I think Max is in a position where the guy he really needs to go after is Mr. Java, mainly because Jerry Rice is going to keep building. That team has a lot of defense. Max is in a position where he's ready to start attacking like crazy. He needs to go for the dogs that have the most defensive potential first. And he kind of had a little alliance with Accio. I would like to see him reinforce that alliance, say, I'm going for Java, maybe help me out just a little bit, which could have been done, as you'll see in a minute here as well. But that doesn't really happen here. But like, I would love to see Max fully make an attack towards Mr. Java. Furthermore, he's got control of the Baxter building. Tile-wide damage is a luxury to Max Power at this moment in the game here with Baxter. And he has a character on the board on Mr. Java's team who's completely immune to that. So wiping out Zuko from the game really could give him an edge as well for control over the board with his Baxter building points. But so what he does is he goes for Jerry Rice, which I think is a very good decision. However, on this turn, he also gets Doofenshmirtz. He has Doofenshmirtz potential. He had the Doof key ending his turn here, and I don't think he does anything with it. It might be on Sauron still. He might have deactivated that a few turns ago. But he has the opportunity to move it. One thing that Mr. Java has brewing is Mercy's office over here is about to go off on his turn. So Death Starring Jerry Rice, what inevitably happens is that obviously that goes 80 damage, taking him from 90 down to 10. But Max doesn't Doofenshmirtz or disable Mercy's office, so he goes straight down from 10 HP remaining all the way back up to 110, and Max could have simply disabled Mercies, protecting from potentially a Calbrus surprise revive, and protecting from what was the healing of the guy he just hit with the Death Star, which kind of amounted to not a lot.
Yeah.
After that is very interesting because, like I said, most of it is his next play. After that, Akiodub really has an opportunity here to finish the job because it's turn 6 and what's his name? George Washington, I think it is, has the opportunity to deal some damage here. Or is it the Death Star? I forget.
It's the Death Star this turn. It's George Washington next turn.
It's the Death Star.
Yeah.
Where did he end up going with this Death Star? I don't even remember.
I think I can speak to this. So at this point in time, the Bears, we see it. They have Mercy's office. We have a Death Star, and we see the Cuties have a Death Star. We Death Star Jerry Rice, anticipating that Akiodub would finish the job. The problem was, and maybe this is where we, like you said, we should have committed to it, was we were afraid if we told Akiodub to do this and Akiodub refuses, then we know we're about to get in a 2v1 situation where now Mr. Java and Akiodub are teaming up. And that's where we don't want to be, especially we're in the same tile together and he's about to get Mercy's office. So we were trying to play the passive route of assuming Akiodub would hopefully see this without us having to team up with him, because obviously he would be our next target, because obviously I think you'll see later on we had a play moving forward. So we were anticipating he would attack him. But instead, I believe Akiodub hits Dragon Quest again.
Yeah. He hits Dragon Quest again.
So that's not what we foresaw.
Now we're at the point where Akiodub, up until this point, has had the capabilities of 100 or 260 tile-wide damage, and all he's done with it is kill Ronaldo and get a couple defense on his guys. I don't see the vision there from the Cuties. I think teaming up on Java in this moment, the guy who is going to be scaling the most, is a good idea. I think Max and Akiodub getting protection from each other is a really good idea. I feel like that's a really mutual, just instinctual idea with the amount of resources those two guys have. It just doesn't come together. Akio has a chance to finish the job with his Death Star, and he doesn't. Part of that, I think, is Max could have, spoken up more. I think not doing that is honestly just a mistake. I think you got to commit. But then also Akio, like, I agree. I mean, he's gotta see it. But we get back around here to Max's next turn. And this is a huge moment here. You put the freeze spell, Max Power did. He freezes Lord Licorice. He freezes Star-Lord in Koopa Bank. And he's gearing up for a huge play. Not only is he going to get Death Stars again, I think actually 2 of them he has enough for at the end of this turn. But also, he has the capacity for huge damage. Now, another thing to keep in mind is he is also trying to move Baxter Building with the TARDIS to get it in the middle 5x5 radius because the apocalypse is about to take out the entire out of layer. So he spends approximately 3 actions doing that. And really all that gives him is Barry Bonds and the Jaeger over there. So I actually think if you're going to attack Akiodub, right? Which I wouldn't recommend in this situation. Again, I think you both going for Mr. Java, who, by the way, because of Max's failure to Doofenshmirtz Mercies, has a 110 health Jerry Rice. I think you really gotta team up on that guy for a couple reasons that we'll get into. But even if you don't, he actually did the orders of his turn incorrectly here. So what he ended up doing was he attacked Iron Giant with the Jaeger first. Then he went with Barry Bonds. What you really got to do is, and this is a general attacking rule for all you guys out there, always attack with the guy that has overperform potential first. Especially when there's a person who needs to die in order for other things to happen. Always lead with the person who is going to deal the most damage, because they might overperform and kill them, and then you don't need to use more actions where you don't need to. So 15 to the third from Barry Bonds on Iron Giant is an average of 105 damage, which is obviously enough for his ability home run. Iron Giant is done. You now have a free Jaeger attack,
8 to the 4th.
which from here has 6 speed that you can use on these guys if you want to.
Yeah.
But honestly, you don't need to. What I would say is you've enough speed, 6 speed. I would honestly say if you're attacking Akiodub, you get a free attack on Captain Rex. You could get a free attack on Babam.
Yeah.
Because then what you have after that is you have 2 Death Stars. Which, by the way, if you both use those Death Stars in the same place, Death Star 1, and so what Max ended up doing was he Death Starred the freeze spelled tile one time, and then he Death Starred Jerry Rice on the other side of the board over here after that. So Death Star 1, Death Star 2. He should have done 2 Death Stars here. That wipes out Lord Licorice and Star-Lord from the game. You need the second one for Star-Lord as well, because he also has the item, the Totem of Undying, right? So you need to Death Star him, Totem puts him back alive, Death Star him. That's how that would work. But you can wipe both of them out. That saves you a free spell that you can then use on Zuko, who ended up being the Retaliator, or Jerry Rice, right? But you split the difference. You didn't kill any of them. And now Max is handling more problems than he needs.
Yeah.
What I would actually recommend is not going for Akiodub at all.
Yeah.
Because he has Istanbul next turn. Akiodub does. And you'll see that because Max has to end his turn in the same tile in order to get the 2 Death Stars. All of his guys are grouped together for the George Washington, who is out of the game, retaliation using Istanbul. So teaming up with Akio saying, hey, let's go for Mr. Java, not only saves you from that Istanbul, but can politically redirect the Istanbul to aid you in the assault on Java. It just makes sense. It's funny, these first 2 turns were just hit Mr. Java instead. But I mean, it's true. I mean, this is where the game was leading, right? So what you should do in that instance is Jaeger should go hit All Might. You can make it to hit All Might. The Jaeger can do that. And if he's alive, Barry Bonds can go next. Then I would probably freeze Zuko and double bomb Jerry Rice. If you're confused on what I'm talking about, basically Jaeger had enough speed instead of going there to go over here and attack All Might. And then Jake the dog can move over here, Barry Bonds, kill All Might. You can definitely guarantee All Might is going to die. You can use that double Death Star on Jerry Rice, and then you can freeze Zuko to stop him from retaliating. And that is a very clean way to just, make sure that that's okay. And then the next turn, Akiodub is going to have all of that damage that he can put on different people, which is just great. You can use that on Kyle, who is kind of regrouping over there, or you can say, hey, I'll do all this stuff, take out one of his bottom guys, politically ally himself that way. That's a lot of crazy potential there. And I think the lack of that and the chopped, so not only just deciding to attack Akiodub, but kind of the suboptimalness of the attack on Akiodub resulted in this next move, which is really the end of this moment here. Turn 7, which is the undoing of Max.
Yeah.
Mr. Java does this great play here where he goes with Zuko and Tails. He's going to bring them over here and he's going to pop the ability. Now, he actually gets very unlucky. And as you can see with these fire tokens, Zuko is actually going to miss
a lot.
The guys, which is unfortunate and unlucky. But Mr. Java planned this play very well. He is going to be able to, finish a lot of these guys off. And again, the reason that this happened was because Akiodub, as a response to Max attacking him, used Istanbul on him. So that dealt 50 damage to his whole team, wiping out the Jaeger people, taking down Barry Bonds down some health, and taking down Finn and Jake down a lot of health. He jumps in trying to get the kill on Barry Bonds. He whiffs with Zuko. I do have a small nitpick.
About
he tries
Mr. Java?
a second. Yes, he tries a second time on Zuko, and then on Barry Bonds and that doesn't work, and then he goes in with Jerry Rice. You can go in with Jerry Rice anyway. Again, what I would do is go in with Jerry Rice, kill with Jerry Rice, because again, you always want to attack with the top dog first, and then after that, use that remaining attack on Zuko to kill Finn and Jake. He could have done that. Small nitpick, Finn and Jake didn't have to live if he just switched the order that he did them in. But alas, it was a good play overall. And I mean, he ends up wiping out Max, which I think, again, really stems just from the mistake that Max made, which I think was just botching that attack.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it was a little more. I think you said it. I think during that turn, I'll give you a little breakdown what's happening in the Bears locker room. We had a lot of power and a lot of decisions to make and a lot of things to factor in. One of the things was we were trying to move Baxter and trying to decide if we wanted to keep Baxter. So we had to move that in and calculate how many actions that would take, then to decide how many actions we had to attack. I think the problem where we messed up, like you said, was miscalculation on speed. So we didn't think Barry Bonds could attack at first. I don't remember exactly why. So we attacked with Jaeger first and figured out later we could do it. Another reason is for some reason we believed that we were going to get one Death Star, so we were anticipating that. So when we got two, it caught us off guard. And instead of putting them both on one person, we split it. Immediately after we said that, realized we botched it because now we got two guys coming after us. What we didn't anticipate, which is just another blunder, was the George Washington. Bear Lockham completely forgot that was happening this turn.
Right.
So even if we did calculate it, like in all honesty, we would have hit both of them on Mr. Java, and we still would have froze Lord Licorice to take him out next turn. The problem is we still have got hit by the 50 damage.
Right.
So there was quite a few things going on, a few things we overlooked, and a few things we just blundered on during the turn, which then factored in that just a lot of stuff going on, which you explained very well.
Right. I mean, and that happens. Honestly, ironically, I think Max Power being in this position is actually really tough because he's a defensive player. He's always that kind of guy that wants to lay low. He wants to, play some politics, let things happen before he makes his commitments, classic defensive style. Honestly, I think if the Bears luck into this position with, hey, maybe King of the Monkeys, JD, Cheddar Bob, I actually think they're able to make this play potentially more efficiently. But I don't know. It's a tough situation, and the Bears really made a mistake, and that I think was the undoing of Max, because after this play, he's got like a pretty much dead Finn the Human, and he's got Randy Orton.
That was that was definitely the downfall. That's
really it. Going into the next big moment of the game, I would say JD. This moment just was absolutely massive. 3:07:07. This was the moment where Kyle starts his turn, and we've kind of been eyeing him this entire time.
Yeah.
He started the game in a really rough position, right? Moment number 3. Started the game in a rough position. Now, just to recap the first two moments, because kind of a lot happened. Really, all that's happened is Akiodub has blundered some crazy assaults on Java. Max has made questionable decisions about who to attack and ultimately found himself pinched and out of the game. Calibros is still trying to recover, and he's still kind of mad at Akio from what happened with the 100 damage, taking his top card out of the game in moment number 1. Moment number 3 over here, Calibros makes a play that we are all excited to see. He uses the Chaos Gem, puts his guy in the center of the ocean, which is very smart because then he transforms the ocean into Hades Town. Now, this is using the Chaos Gem, obviously, because it is Hades Town. Now, Hades Town, you have to be in the center to go into the underworld. So that was actually very smart by Calibros, putting his guy in the center before he transformed it, not having to make that water roll. And then he sends down Wallace down into the underworld, trying to get Cristiano Ronaldo back. And JD, I think this is just a great play from Kyle. We're going to show how this goes in just a second. But this is, I think, all in all, a great play. that I think he could have actually achieved a similar result in other ways, potentially sooner. If I were him, one thing, and this is just a nitpick, I would have used Wallace and Gromit. He's got a lot of points, like they can make their combined thing a value 5.
Yeah.
That's a lot of trading potential in Minecraft Village, with which honestly, Calbrus just didn't use. What he could have done is gotten a holster from Minecraft Village, and then he had the space gem earlier. It got taken from Asteroid City, which also Calbrus got unlucky from. But I think it was like turn 3 he got that. So he had a lot of opportunities he could have done this, but he could have gotten the holster, had the second action with both Wallace and Gromit, and then traded in the cheese, gotten the emeralds because the holster used the emeralds to get Mercy's staff.
Can use
and
it.
Then had the other, like Wallace is over here doing that, Gromit's over here 3 spaces away. Like he could have very easily orchestrated that. As long as he had the holster with Wallace and Gromit and some cheese, he could have in one turn gotten a surprise Mercy's office revive. I think it was turn 6 he didn't do that, and Mercy's staff was actually pulled already by Captain Rex on turn 6, but still he had a few turns to work that out. Yeah, I don't know. Small, like I'm not going to die on that hill. He did something good. Obviously, this play is a good one, but small nitpick there. Also, I wrote this down. I need to defend myself, JD. Is this okay to do on the podcast?
Yeah, go. I'm depends what you're about to say. I'm not too sure.
I got in trouble for cutting off the llamas, but I just want this to be a learning opportunity. I just want it to be a learning opportunity because I feel like, okay, so now my recording here. Can you talk real quick?
Yep. No.
Awesome.
No.
Okay, so now my recording can hear this stuff. So just try not to talk while I'm playing this audio, but. Basically, I want you guys to hear this, and I want to explain just for future reference in games kind of how this works.
So, I mean, hurting me wouldn't be beneficial.
So his clock just ran out, Calbrus's clock. Mr. Java is talking, and I want to give him time to assign where he wants to go with his gem. Now, technically, his clock hit 0, so I'm at liberty to cut him off and not let him do that. But I'm trying to be nice. 3,
For you.
2. I start giving him a countdown. 1.
It's going to be
3, 2, 1.
Koopa,
and at this moment, actually, it was earlier that his clock was 0.
Obviously, come to agree and say,
let's do this in real time.
I'm not super.
1. That's going to be the end. I say that's going to be the end of your turn. Your turn. I gotta have it.
Hurt you.
I gotta have it. I'm asking.
So I mean, hurting
so much
me
time is going by. It should have been over. 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. I give him the countdown. He doesn't say anything. Guys, if I'm giving you a countdown and you really want to do something, like you got to say it before I hit the end of the countdown. I said 1.
It's going to be Koopa Bank.
And then he says it's going to be Koopa Bank like 2 seconds after I say 1. And then I'm like, I can't give that to you. That's like 13 seconds over your turn. Like, try to do it before it hits 0. If I give you time, I'm being generous. If I start giving you a countdown, say what you're trying to say before I get to the end of the countdown. There's nothing I can do about that, guys. So, Calbrus, if you're watching this, and I'm sure other people have been in this situation, right? Like, just like say what you're gonna say. I'm always gonna try to be there for you.
Yeah, guys.
Like,
he's a nice guy. He's trying to help you out.
I try to be. But like, if that happens, there's nothing I can do, and I feel bad about it too. You can hear what I say. I'm gonna keep it where it is. I'm gonna keep it where it is.
You said it. You literally what?
You were 10 seconds over the action clock.
Well, why would you count down then?
Why would I count down then? Because I'm trying to help. Anyway, I understand there's a little frustration. No, obviously beef with Calbrus, right? Sometimes things like that are just going to happen. But this could be a learning experience, right? For everybody. I don't want to see you guys get cut off, but sometimes it happens. But no, that was a huge moment. And obviously, if it's not apparent already, that does result in the respawning of Cristiano Ronaldo, which is just absolutely huge. That will be another moment soon. But I mean, what do you think about that play to set that up, JD?
Yeah, I think it was a great play. I don't even mind the waiting for it because it put him in a position where he was obviously not the target. And even when he did do it, he still wasn't really the target because of the fact there were still 2 full teams left on the board. Although he's about to have a coin flip to get his legendary back, it was in a position where someone couldn't really go out of their ways to kill him because then there's a whole nother team going to finish you off. So I didn't mind the timing at all, honestly. I thought it was perfect time. When I saw him do it, I was like, Cowboys is back in the game. I was personally, the Bears were happy you put that in because that's also what the Bears needed. So we were kind of excited when he did that because we're like, okay, we needed this extra thing. Now we're on bottom of it. And now we'll do the same exact thing. So we were in our locker room. We were pretty excited for the play.
No, I mean, I think that's an excellent point, JD. The timing honestly couldn't have been better. You're right. So he could have done it earlier.
He could have done it earlier.
But I think, well, and also I think part of what contributes to that from my initial statement is because you don't know what's going to happen with Hadestown.
True.
Another thing to keep in mind is, and this is before it happens still, Captain Rex holds on to the Mercy Staff and is sitting in bomb range and just right next to Kyle for like, he does that for like 7 turns. Like Calibris at any point could have walked over, killed him easily. Boom, revive. Like, and that is a more guaranteed way.
Oh yeah.
But I agree with the timing thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't have been better time.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
he was taking the odds. Also, I mean, I do agree. The microfield sitting there and the ability where he's just sitting back with Wallace and Gromit, crazy combo.
Crazy.
Definitely something that if they didn't even have to pull Mercy Staff, they could have pulled other stuff, and then along with the Hadestown summon, they could have even been in a better situation.
Absolutely. But that takes us to our 4th moment of the game, JD. So we've seen the big Accio 180 damage. Where did that go? We've seen the undoing of max power. We've seen the potential rise of Calbrus. What is going to happen next? Unfortunately, it is Accio's undoing. We are going to now break down exactly how that happened. So, okay, this was a very interesting moment. Politically, it was very strange, which I think was kind of all our immediate takeaways.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of X's and O's that were botched too. I am going to give my official podcast stance on those politics, which, hey, you know, I hope I don't get any. I'm just going to call it how I see it, say what happened. So Accio starts moving somewhere, and there's some political dubiousness in the air. He starts talking with Mr. Java, and it is very unclear and out in the open kind of what they had agreed on. Like, Java is not saying that he is honoring what they had talked about. We're going to get into what they talked about. Actually, we're just going to rewind time in a minute. But you can see that Star-Lord starts moving this direction. Accio, bro, just like figure out what is happening with Java before you do anything with Star-Lord, or because what actually is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, is Java is going to reveal that he is not honoring the truce. He's saying that from the angle of, I actually don't think we made a truce, which is interesting, and we'll talk about that soon. But Accio goes over here before that is said, and he uses his action or his attacks with Star-Lord on Candy Kingdom, and then after the fact, after that is rolled, he learns that actually him v Java is fair game. Okay, now it's time to start dealing damage to Java, which, by the way, first of all, it's about time. I've been trying to get Accio to attack Java for, like, it feels like years at this point. No, it's been like 2 hours, I think, into the game. But there's been so many opportunities this game where Accio should have gone after Java. This is a huge one. But he should have just waited to iron that out before committing his actions. Call a timeout. You know, at this moment, he has 2 of them left. Like, hash that out before you do things. Now, let's get into the deal. Like, because this was a very controversial thing, JD. And just so you know, I'm going to let them hear so they can hear you as well.
Yes.
So just be
Yes.
careful. Try not to talk too much, but I'll try to make this quick. I did save the moment where the deal took place. And that is around 3 hours. From my notes, it is 3 hours and 36 minutes into the stream. We can listen.
Finish over there. Yeah, John, I'll give you
Just maybe a turn. That's
yeah, we can do it. Well, do I get a turn as well?
the more.
So he says, I'll give you a turn. I'll give you maybe a turn. How about that? And then he says, do I get a turn as well? And this is the deal, right? So the deal that is on the table, Accio is saying, yes, like I will give you a turn. Do I get a turn as well? And that is where the dubiousness of Mr. Java comes in, because then Mr. Java very quickly, because he gets cut off, he says, do I get a turn as well? Max starts talking.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Java never revisits that last part of the conversation. And then he goes in and moves in before giving an answer, ignoring potentially the question, and makes an attack. I think it makes sense why Accio thinks that they are mutual. So I guess in Java's mind, which by the way, there's never a alliance that works like this, by the way. It's never, you can't attack me, but I can attack you. That is really odd. That's kind of misleading in general. But so he never answers the question, and he kind of leaves it vague. I do think that's on Mr. Java. I do think Mr. Java has the responsibility in that moment to be very clear with exactly where it starts and where it ends. And, I think that's his responsibility. And I totally think because of the way it's framed, it makes a lot of sense that this would be confusing. And if you go here, I'm going to show you guys what is said then later on. This is kind of also a factor in this. Let me play this here for you guys. And this is later on.
Got the number good.
No, I asked you if you would not attack me.
Are you planning to attack me next turn then?
He said, no, I asked you if you would not attack me. And that's kind of, again, where some of the dubiousness comes in. So Mr. Java kind of makes it unclear in the initial moment, never answers on Accio's inquiry, and kind of rushes along to make the attack. And then afterwards is saying, well, after Star-Lord already used his attack in Candy Kingdom, he says, okay, well, actually, I didn't actually agree to not attack you. Still expecting Accio Dub to not attack him, but then goes back on that. Because then he says, actually, no, you can attack me. And to Mr. Java's credit, I think in a moment of honesty here, at 2:25, I saved it, you can hear him say,
It hurts me, but I don't want to go against something that I said earlier.
I've got 10 seconds, and then I'll...
Yeah, I mean, like genuinely attack me with Lord Licorice. Like, that's not even out of the realm of what you...
So he says, no, attack me with Lord Licorice. That is not out of the realm of what is expected of you at this moment. So to Mr. Java's credit, he made things unclear, but then he cleared things up in a way that was different from what they had initially agreed upon. But I think that's fine. Of like, no, I am going to attack you, but you're also expected to attack me. Very, very messy situation here. I think the fact of the matter is, and you're good to just keep talking because I muted it. I want to hear what you think about that, JD. But like, so Mr. Java, I think in that moment, that is a bad look of politics, poor politicizing, which, I mean, it happens. Mr. Java's not going to play perfectly, right? But that is definitely misleading from him. Also, a little bit of goodwill at the end saying, no, you should attack me, which we'll see what Accio ends up doing. But I don't know. What do you think about that whole web of conflict, JD?
Yeah, so this one was interesting. I think there were so many ways to look at it. I think the main problem with it was the fact that they didn't fully come to deal with their treaty. Because what Mr. Java was proposing, I didn't even think was that out of the world because he was in a position where he could either attack me he could attack the Astro Bears or he could attack Akiodub. And he was in a position of power. And I've done this myself where since you have that power, you can leverage a deal in your favor where it's like, hey, I won't attack you this turn, but you can't attack me either this turn either. Or you're coming up next turn. And obviously in that scenario, Mr. Java would win the deal, but it's kind of difficult to say no to that because it's either have to call them out on their bluff. No, you're not going to attack me. You are still going to hit max, even if I don't say anything, or he goes with it. If Mr. Java clarified that, then Akido could just make a decision like, yes, I'll team up with you, or no, I won't, and let's see who you attack first if you go out your ways to still hit me. But because Mr. Java doesn't clarify that, then I think that's what makes this confusing. Then Akiodub, since Akiodub believes one thing, and I don't think Mr. Java does this on purpose because of the fact that he ends up letting him attack him, even though it was after Star-Lord. I think he explains himself afterward. I don't think that was on purpose. I think they both had different thoughts, and Mr. Java realized that he didn't want to take full advantage of the situation. So obviously, Mr. Java still wins.
I will say, I don't think this instance is bad faith politics from Mr. Java, but I do think Mr. Java is prone to what I would call more of a dishonest politicking.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Like, because some people are just very clear, like, hey, we're not enemies for this amount of turns.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to be like, well, technically I didn't say this, and then go around your back and hurt you anyway or hinder you anyway.
Mhm.
Like, that's more of honest politicking. Mr. Java very much is in the realm of, like, I'm going to throw mud in the water. I'm going to make this a little, and then, like, there have been multiple times in his career where something like this has happened, and because something wasn't expounded upon or defined, people have kind of gotten thrown under the bus in certain Java politicking. Now, maybe that's going to continue this season, or maybe because of this moment, Mr. Java is going to be like, okay, I'm going to make things very clear in the future. But I mean, it is kind of worth mentioning, I think, for the future.
Yeah.
Like, it does affect the resume, I think, of Waffles politics. But,
Definitely.
I mean, they're starting off with a good record. But so what I would have done with Akio in this situation, back to just what he should have done, is now that it's cleared up that, you know, this is actually something that should be happening, right? Which, again, I think you got to make that clarification first, Akio, before you do things with him. So he's right next to, with Star-Lord and Lord Licorice, right next to these guys. I think attacking, attacking Jerry and going for the kill with Lord Licorice makes the most sense. Then after you attack with, well, okay, so I think you should attack with Star-Lord on Lord Licorice first, because Star-Lord actually has a really good attack. Because he has +4, I believe, at this point. He has upgraded dice tier, so that's 11 to the third with the hero gem, right? Because in the free spell's still here, but that's about to be deleted. That's not a factor here. He still has hero gem over here. So that's 11 to the third on, that could kill a 30 health Jerry Rice. I think you go and you attack with Star-Lord. If Star-Lord kills with the second attack, because he rolls for 2 attack, go for Zuko. If not, then obviously try to finish off Jerry Rice. But your goal should be to take out Rice first.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, you can get him with the 2 of Star-Lord's attacks, which is 22 to the third. And then go for Zuko with Lord Licorice. Going for Zuko with Lord Licorice is going to be so crucial because you're probably not going to kill, but what you can do then is put him in the center of Olympic Swim Stadium.
Yeah.
Which, with the Licorice space, I mean, that is absolutely huge because he has to roll for water in the Licorice space, which again, like if he fails that, he ends his whole turn with Zuko. And then even if he does get that, he's got to exit the Swim Stadium with the looming apocalypse. That is just bad news bears. So that is a devastating blow he could make to Java. I mean, he could kill his top 2 guys, or at least guarantee the demise of them in this moment. He doesn't do that. If you go to 324 here, you will see what he ends up doing. So he already used his action, granted, with Star-Lord in here, but then instead of going for Java, Lord Licorice just goes into the Olympic swim stadium. I cannot, and I think this question starts to get asked, why is Accio refusing to attack Java? I hope it's not for like out of the game reasons, but I mean, I don't know, maybe it is. But like, I don't know. I think it's just some blunders there from the cuties. I don't understand their reluctance to attack Java. I think especially after that, I guess you could say JV betrayal. Like after that JV betrayal, I mean, I would go and destroy him. So you could have attacked with both of them. You attacked with neither of them. So at this point, even in after the fact, go in and attack Jerry Rice or Zuko with Lord Licorice, send him in Swim Stadium. I don't think he attacked any character with Lord Licorice this entire game.
No, that card is so fun. I was really, yeah.
I know. So huge miss from Accio Dub. I don't understand. On top of this, a turn later, which I get Accio's trying to run away. A turn later, by the way, Star-Lord's dead because Mr. Java did attack him that turn, obviously. He gets the Death Star, and who does Accio Dub Death Star? He Death Stars Zuko, who can't even get hurt from tile-wide damage. Throws away a Death Star. By the way, Accio Dub could have bombed Jerry Rice, who's at 30 HP. Accio Dub has had the chance to kill Mr. Java just in his mitts 10 times. No, but like legitimately, I think it's 5. I think this is the 5th time he could have ended Java's game, and he didn't. He didn't. Granted, that one's a blunder, but it's crazy. And how does this saga with Accio Dub end? It ends because Lord Licorice is stuck in the swim stadium that gets covered up by a void from the apocalypse. And that is just an insane game. Obviously, like, this is strategy, right? I love Accio Dub as a guy. He's actually one of my favorite people to play games with. And you know, not just Board Wars. You know, I've played other board games with him, like at weddings we've been a part of and stuff. Like, I love Michael Goosewell. One of my favorite dudes. Great guy. This is a brutal watch from me, JD. I don't know. There was just so many moments where the tide could have turned. And that is the undoing of Accio Dub. And that was kind of a long 4th moment, but it was more of a collection of mistakes that compiled and not only took Accio out of the game, but also didn't progress or affect the larger board in any meaningful way.
Yeah. No, you put that well. I think it's those little things, and some of them even weren't. Some of them weren't little, but it's the compound of them when you have those multiple mistakes. Then it starts to leak to like a bigger thing. Like usually you can make a mistake or two, and it might not show too much in game. But when there's multiple things compounded, then you start to see it, and then that's when you're a couple steps behind. I think that last one, instead of hitting, because if he went over and hit Jay Rice or hit Zuko, he could have pushed them across the board, put them into Kyle's spawn over there. Could have thrown him into Darrell Reese's tile, loses in action, loses speed. Now he's stuck over there. There was a lot of things he could have done there. And I think he was just trying to get away because at that moment, Mr. Java was pretty scary. He saw all his guys. So I understand why he was running away, but I think there was still a play to be made.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was kind of a crazy, I don't know, just a crazy and interesting game.
It's
and
not
the thing
done
that
yet.
I think is so interesting. Well, I mean, from Accio Dub.
Yeah.
Like, kind of brutal in my opinion playing. But I think the thing that's really interesting to me is he had 6 kills. I know.
What?
Despite all of this blunder, he threw away. So the blunder on the 180 at the beginning, the 80 on Dragon Quest, which again, because he died from the apocalypse, amounted to nothing, taking him to 240, plus the 80 he threw away on Zuko. He threw away 320 damage. Did not kill, like wipe out a team with that, or really do anything meaningful almost at all. Because the only guy he killed with that was Cristiano Ronaldo, and he came back to life. You're telling me a guy like that still somehow dealt 380 damage and had 6 kills? How? Accio Dub, I feel like, could have taken this game on a golden platter, just time after time after time, and he just didn't. He just didn't see it. And the funny thing is, where did all those kills come from? It wasn't Mr. Java. So time after time, Akio is so. I mean, I think Mr. Java played a good game. Obviously, that attack to take Max out of the game, the attack to take Michael out of the game, Akio dub, right? He's playing well, but I think Mr. Java really needs to thank Akio dub. Because I mean, this is wow, a lot of moments here. But I mean, I don't know, JD, what do you think before we go to the last moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a collection of. I think the biggest thing we're seeing here is Mr. Java is able to capitalize on people's mistakes, and I think that's what we see from some of the best players. They're able to understand when they made a mistake and when to quickly pounce on that. And every time I think we saw a mistake, Mr. Java was there to clean up the mess.
Very true. Very true. And just look at how he stayed on top of this game, not just politically, even if dubious politically, he did stay very much so on top of this game. Like in moments where we're like, okay, we'll just ask Akiodub, just ask Max and make a deal with Kyle and do this. And Mr. Java was able to break up those conversations, make them not happen. And look at this apocalypse. Like this is just a smothered win almost because Mr. Java has all their guys. It's a 5v5, but it's really a 5v3, v2, you know? Like this is just a dominant position from Java. You can't get there unless you are a dog. And Mr. Java played like a dog in this victory. Are you ready to see moment 5?
I'm so ready. I mean, I remember it, but let's show it for the audience.
Let's see what it is. The question is, what is this moment called? Is this moment called the comeback of the century? Because it starts with, we've said earlier, Wallace returning from Hadestown and Cristiano Ronaldo is back in the game. That starts this final moment here at the end of the game. Cristiano Ronaldo can spawn now in the middle. He gets his water roll, which is just, actually, we skipped over this, but Mr. Java did try to challenge this, which was great. And I actually saw some people being like, how can he challenge it? It's because going back from Hadestown costs an action, which triggers
and he was challenging
flipping
that
of the
action.
coin.
Yeah.
He was challenging the action. That was a little misunderstood from some people, but very fair. Obviously, that's how it works. That's actually what has happened with this before. Funny enough, this has been challenged, but so then they go through the challenge. A lot is up for stakes here, like the lightsaber that Mr. Java hates, the leggings of Notch, like a gem, grandma's snack bag. He throws forth the ring of power. He throws forth the Omnitrix. And Java did almost everything he could to stop this from happening. But at the end of the day, Kyle had more resources and the summon was off. Now, Kyle Bruns in this position has a chance to win. What he needs to do, ladies and gentlemen, that I think gives him the best chance of victory is he needs to give the Popeye spinach, all of the Popeye spinach, to Darrell Revis. He probably doesn't have to do all of them, but I would do all of them just to be safe. He needs to get the water roll with Cristiano Ronaldo, which, by the way, let's skip ahead just a little bit. By the way, he calls a timeout to think. Very smart. Very smart from the llamas. Which, by the way, he does get the water roll with Cristiano Ronaldo. I actually think he attacked with Darrell Revis first. I'm going to explain why I think this is a mistake. What he really needs to do. So Cristiano Ronaldo is over here, and what he ends up doing is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sui. And he Sui's killing All Might. That is so crucial. The reason, everybody, that he wants to do that to All Might and not to Jerry Rice is because All Might is contributing +2 defense with his ability to Zuko over here, which gives him a defense of 9. If the One for All isn't being held, he has a defense of 7, which is a very big difference if you know how that works. Now, I think there's 2 routes forward. I think the first route forward that you could do if you're Calbros in this situation, which I think you should do, is I think you should go Sui over here with All Might, kill All Might, and then send Darrell Revis over there with the 15 spinach, which, by the way, with that, Darrell Revis has 65 to the second.
Oh, gosh.
65 to the second attack on Zuko, which on a defensive 7, on average, does 105 damage. So you're excelling the odds there, which is definitely going to kill Zuko in my mind. But again, you have to kill All Might first. And if that happens, you're in a spot where you have Darrell Revis over here with 22 health, and you have Cristiano Ronaldo over here with 50. Because by killing All Might, Cristiano Ronaldo takes 50 damage because All Might has drinking the Nuka-Cola. So you do that to All Might, kill him, reduce the defense so you mathematically have a chance to go over and kill Zuko with Darrell Revis. On average, this works by a lot. And then Mr. Java's in a spot with Jerry Rice and 2 bums. He can only go after Cristiano Ronaldo. He can't go after Darrell Revis because Darrell Revis has Revis Island.
Mm-hmm.
He can't go in and attack. Ladies and gentlemen, the game is over. Jerry Rice can go up and kill Cristiano Ronaldo, who is now at 50 health, but there is nothing he can do against Darrell Revis. Darrell Revis, as long as he sits in Revis Island, he can't be attacked by Jerry Rice. So he can just slowly creep up to Jerry, attack him, and he gets Zuko's gem over here that gives 2 actions. He can attack twice, set up Darrell Revis Island, take away actions from Jerry Rice, sit back, not be attacked. Maybe sit in the Death Star over, or in the Baxter building over here and throw off some bombs. Like, I think the game is taken from Calbreast, but he doesn't do that. What he does instead, which you're going to see, is he goes over first with Darrell Revis. He makes 2 mistakes. First of all, he only gives him 10 spinach and not 19. That's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is obviously there is still a +2 defense, which makes it 9 because of the 1 for all with All Might. He didn't do Ronaldo's thing first. He flips the order, ladies and gentlemen. He goes up and attacks. The damage, it only does, I think, 27 damage because his defense is 9 and because he didn't give all the spinach. And then afterwards, he uses Sui on All Might. That kills All Might, deals damage to Ronaldo. And because Zuko is alive, guys, on the next turn, Zuko simply kills Darrell Revis, who's only at 22 health.
Yeah.
And the reason he's able to do that and Jerry Rice wouldn't have been able to is because, again, he's holding the gem that gives him 2 actions. So Zuko kills Darrell Revis. Jerry Rice goes over here in the aftermath of the Sui and kills Cristiano Ronaldo. And ladies and gentlemen, because of that mistake from Calbreast, Mr. Java won his first game. Wow. I mean, there were some other things that happened in that end game too, but really that is where the game was lost. JD, what do you think about that 5th and final moment?
Yeah, I think it kind of sums up this entire game. I think Calbreast was put in a position, they had a lot of time to think about how they were going to use the spinach and Ronaldo. When it got to it, they misplayed it like a Max Power did, like AccuDub did. Actually, all of them, the order of everything, all 3 of those teams miscalculate that, and it did major damage. I think we counted it up. It was like Mr. Java could have died. There was hypotheticals like they could have hit him, and that's one thing. There was a couple times when he did get attacked though. There was a Death Star that hit him that didn't actually hit him, and then who was it? Then it was Licorice could have hit him, and then it was this right here. You could have taken All Might out first. That would have been all top 3 of Mr. Java's guys, but instead he was able to barely stay in with Jerry Rice at 16 health.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, yeah, that's how it ends. So brutal ending there from the Llamas. They were just margins away from victory. the Waffles win their first game of the season. So it was a little messy. Really, it was just a kind of blunder, like again. But Mr. Java, by the way, did we talk about a single Mr. Java blunder? I mean, I think we said his attack on Max was suboptimal.
Yeah,
But-
that was about, and that was partly due because of
Right.
odds on his Zuko roll, but
Right. I mean, it's just he didn't make mistakes. Everybody else did. I think Mr. Java played a fantastic game, very well earned first win of his career, and starts the Waffles as undefeated here. I mean, JD, all in all, I mean, now that we're at the end of the segment here, what would you give as final grades for these guys?
yeah. Do you want me to give mine first and then maybe a little
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'll go from last place to first. For last place, Acura from most QDC got last place. I gave him a D. I gave him a D. I think the lowest I gave last week was a C minus. I think there was just a lot of capabilities he had, and because if he had a lot of potentials, he blundered a lot more of those. So I think that deserves a D under the C minus, which I think I gave the DNA Nick, but that was also due to the part he just didn't have a lot going for him.
Yeah.
But this Akudub did have a lot going for him, and
I'm not gonna lie, JD. I'm giving an F.
an
That
F.
Bro, he had so many chances to win this game.
Yeah.
This game practically crawled into his stat box. I don't know. Again, I love Akiodub. And I actually think Akiodub's an amazing player. Or he can be. I think he can be an amazing player. But, man, this was not it. I think this is by far an F. I don't know.
I
don't know.
I see where you're going there. I mean, yeah. I would say, yeah.
If this isn't an F, what is?
Well, I think with the 8 players I've played, it is the lowest. It would be at the bottom. So
Yeah.
it's 8th out of the 8. We'll say it like that.
That's true. That's true.
Third was I guess Max Power. He technically got third place because of the Hades Town manipulation there. I gave him a C plus.
Okay.
The C plus, I think he was able to perform the early game well. Lots of time manipulation. He's able to position himself well, but similar to the King of the Monkeys. I gave King of the Monkeys also a C plus. They were unable to capitalize on their offensive power and position themselves to put themselves in a victorious spot, which is why I think they fall short. So good beginning game, bad end game that ends up pretty fast. So I think middle of the area.
For Max Power.
Yeah, for Max Power.
I'm gonna give him a C minus. I think there were some moments where he was handed a lot of tools at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he caught on too slow onto really kind of how to capitalize on him. I think a player who is defensive was put in an offensive spot and he couldn't hang. And I think when the pressure mounted, he made the wrong decisions. I think there was semblance for a lot of really good stuff there, but just not the Max Power we knew from last season. And anticipating a return
Yeah,
to form.
I think that's fair. I think we're in similar spot there. And then second
Yeah.
place, I had Calbrus. I had him at a C. He was taken out early in the game. There wasn't a whole lot he could do. I thought there was a little bit more he could have done with Minecraft Village and Baxter and Mercy sitting in front of him. He makes the great Hades Town, and he has the push to do it, but then doesn't capitalize on his one move the entire game. That's basically what he had building up the entire game. And because he isn't capitalized on, I think it's a C.
It's true. It's true. I think I gave him a C plus.
Okay.
Which just, I mean, he was hindered from stuff early on.
Yeah.
Things that were kind of out of his control. Granted, I think Calbrus could have intercepted that conversation and led Akiodub into the right play, which was, going after Java. If Calbrus was more politically inclined or maybe quicker at the politics, but I think that's kind of he was in a really tough spot. He really almost came back. Not like a good performance enough for a B because obviously he made some big blunders, but C plus, I don't know in my mind. What did you give Mr. Java?
Mr. Java, I believe this is the highest rank I've given a player. I gave a B plus. I give him a B plus. Did not reach an A tier. He played amazing. He did not make any mistakes. Very similar to Moot Newt, who I think I gave like a B minus. He was able to. He had a little more adversary, so I think he was able to just show a little bit more during this game. I think it's not an A. I think the talent he was playing, is very well. I think they played below their level, and I think there was a lot of moments where Mr. Java should not have been that far ahead because of the players he was playing. So I give him a B plus. Still a very good tier, but not like that A tier, just because of those reasons.
I gave him a B plus as well, and that's really exciting to see Mr. Java take the victory. I got a little nickname for him, maybe. You know, I coined the Red Hot Ruby Raptors. You know, maybe I can coin. This is more of a joke. I'm not actually going for this. I need to preface that because I want to lose aura from this. But
it's too late. You gotta say it.
I think we gotta start calling him the Espresso Double Shot Hot Java Lin Island Volcano or something. I don't know. So the one and only Espresso Double Shot Hot Java Lin Volcano Island.
I like it.
Or we could call him the Monopoly Man. I don't know.
I like the longer one. I like to hear you say that every single time during the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there was actually a poem of sorts that Mr. Java wrote that I think will be inspiring before we head on to the next segment, JD. I actually really like it. He posted this to the Discord, so you guys can go read it yourself, but I kind of want to assume the role of Java as I present this to you. I'd like to dedicate my win to the dreamers, to those of you who play or practice games as if they're pro, to those who dream of boards on which only you remain, to those of you who copy every spreadsheet on your heart, to those of you who can't imagine life without this game. I come to you, a player who's known victory and drought, to humbly implore you, in the midst of all your doubt, keep learning, keep playing, keep fighting, keep dreaming. I did not abandon hope, as feeble as it sometimes seemed. Gaze upon my victorious hand, clutching onto my dream. If one thing I have learned, it's that the dreaming's worth the pain. I now salute you from the other side, believing you will do the same. Keep dreaming, Mr. Java.
Wow. That was beautiful.
I mean, and I can't think of a player who's trained harder.
Oh, no.
Like a player who has truly deserved to taste victory as much as him. I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
100%. I remember back in the day when he was newer to the game. I remember when the board were first like popped up on tabletop where we were allowed to like play it like individually. I went out, we downloaded it. The first like minute came out. We couldn't find any other people to play. We started playing 1v1s. Now you can argue whether that's helpful for your gameplay or not, but we would play 1v1 so often. John would get absolutely destroyed by me every single time. I'd make him do push-ups every time he lost. I don't know if he ever got through all the push-ups because how many times he lost, but every single time he got better and better. I'm very proud of Mr. Java. I knew this moment was coming.
Me too. Can't think of a more deserving guy. As with that being said, we can head to our next segment.
All right, moving on from the game recap. We're now moving on to the game setup for this next week 3 game. This one's gonna be good. There are some fun names come out here. Some I would say some legendary names popping up here. So I think I'm just gonna read them out here. First, from the Barbecue Beavers, we got rookie Igawala, which I believe was a 5th rounder, if I'm not mistaken.
5th round pick?
5th round for the Barbecue Beavers. Let's go. Rookie, throw him in there. Throw him in the waters. Let's see if he can swim. Will he drown? I don't know.
The season opener is crazy.
Oh like, my, it is their first game.
I'm not playing a 5th round pick in my season opener. That must mean they must have very high hopes for Igawala.
100%. When you have baby Bucky, Brent, Drew, Ryan. Oh my gosh, that team's actually already insane.
Absolutely. Yeah, that team is nuts. Yeah, Bucky, baby Bucky, Ryan, Brent, Drew, and I mean, there's so many guys
the rookies.
On that roster.
I mean, if that's his 5th round pick.
Cereal?
Oh my gosh, I forgot. Cereal. And then there's 4 rounds before that. They had multiple picks. So, I mean, I think that just shows they have a lot of faith in this guy. I'm excited to see this because next up, he has another guy from season 3 from the Purple Dragons, Sigazale. Sigazale did not get a win last year, but showed promising factors there. And we know he's a very involved with the league. Fun guy to play with. I remember when he teamed wiped Max Power last year. That was not fun to watch, but looking back on it, was pretty funny.
Former first round pick, Sigazale.
Oh, he was a first rounder. Wow. All right, so we got a first rounder. So these two guys, both of them don't have a win. So we could see possibly first win in their career. But right after that, a guy, also another season 3 from the Jelly Jets, making their first appearance with their new captain Python. But it's not Python, it's Wonder Boy playing.
Vice captain, baby.
Vice captain of the Jelly Jets.
Season 3 second round pick, Wonder Boy.
Okay, so we got a 5th, a 3rd, a 2nd, all 3 without wins. All guys looking for their first, some youngsters coming in the league. But the last guy, to round it off, he's not a rookie. He's not even close to rookies. This guy has two career wins. And even more than that, this guy hasn't even played in the league for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
This is a guy, a former captain, a playoff appearance, 2 wins. Welcome back, Joel for the Cryptic Crows.
Wow. Former Chess Rules captain turned Ruby Raptor player turned retirement for, stepping away for personal reasons, turned grand return opening for the Cryptic Crows, the first player to play for them. Also, he's their vice captain. Also, as you said, he's a legend to his 2 wins. And if that doesn't get you hyped, JD, I don't know what does. You don't have a pulse, all right? Like, this is going to be an exciting matchup. So the question is, will Joel get his 3rd win? Also being one of few players to win on different teams, JD. We don't talk about that much, but that is a very rare category to be in. That is, you have won on 2 different teams. Brent has won on 2 different teams. That might be it.
That might be it. Wow, that's not a lot.
That might legitimately be it. I mean, okay, let's think about this just for a second. I don't think I'm missing anybody.
Goob, not Goob.
Not Goob.
Someone on the Jets. No, Tim didn't win one on the Jets.
No.
And Jacob did not win anything anymore after the Jets. Yeah, I think just 2.
So he's going to become the 3rd player ever, potentially, to win on 2 different teams. 3rd win of his career, which, by the way, that is huge for the drip in the status, right, of his career.
That jumps up to a lot.
Or will one of these up-and-comers get their first win of their career, which, I mean, we saw last week with Mr. Java. I guess actually so far, the first 2 weeks of the season have been players who haven't won before getting their first win. So maybe that will be continued. There's, I guess, a 75% chance that is true. Wow, what a game. I mean, do we want to go back to old reliable that hasn't worked once?
I say we go to the formula, the old formula, I say, obviously, I think we change up the branding. I don't think it's the winning formula, but I think it is a formula, and I think it's interesting to look at the factors. Maybe they haven't correlated to winning, but they are interesting the factors I think to talk about, or maybe even to look at.
No, absolutely, and I think that allows you to make an educated guess.
Yeah,
that hasn't been
correct or even close. Have our players placed?
Top 2.
My guys place 2nd and 3rd, the people I've picked.
Did you also, we're also counting our records for predictions personally. Did you predict Java last week?
I picked Max.
Oh.
Yeah. Java.
I picked
picked Kyle.
Neither of us have gotten it right yet.
No. Both 0-2.
That's hilarious. So I think the first category was chemistry. Where do we think they rank in terms of chemistry? I would argue number 1, I think, has to go to Wonder Boy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, his vice captain his brother's the captain, and the Jets already had a good locker room coming into the season. I feel like.
Well, his competition is Joel, who's on a new team, Igawala, who's a rookie, so on a new team, or Sigazale, who has also only been around 1 year, but has a new captain and no familial ties. I think it would make the most sense to go Wonder Boy 1, Sigazale 2. I would say Joel 3, Igawala 4. And I think Joel 3 goes maybe just from he's been in the league before. He knows how chemistry is supposed to go in the locker room because he was a captain. I think that makes the most sense. After that is position going into the game, political position, right? And then what was the other one? Skill?
Skill, yeah.
Let's just do skill first because I think number 1 has got to be Joel.
I think so, yeah. It has to be Joel. Number 2 is between Wonder Boy and Sigazale.
I think it's Sigazale.
I would give it to Sigazale. I think Sigazale's 2. I'd give Wonder Boy 3. And because he's a rookie, he's a 4.
That makes the most sense to me as well. And then I guess just position coming into the game. I mean, again, it's early. 2 of these teams, or actually 3 of these teams are making their debut. No, wait. All 4 of these teams haven't played a game this season.
You're right. Pfft, what the? Wow.
Wow.
We've played 2. Me and the Cuties have played 2 games.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it goes when you got 10 dudes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Wow. Okay, so they don't have a lot going to it. I'm looking at Crows, their new team, but also coming into Joel's also only guy with the win. So those kind of counteract.
Yeah,
I don't think Joel's in a great position because, in that term, just because he's the only guy with the win.
I would agree. I think the guy who has the most odds to slip under the radar is honestly Igawala.
I agree.
Being a rookie. And then I think after him, so then it becomes if we think Joel is at the bottom, Igawala's at the top. Where do we rank Sigazale and Wonder Boy?
I think I don't know. Both of them I think Wonder Boy would be second.
Second best spot.
I think the Jelly Jets last year had really good chemistry with those. I think they, compared to the Dragons, had a better diplomacy with teams, which I think could be helpful coming to the new season.
Well, the Crows are their division rival, and that's a blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
The Dragons have history with the Beavers, from my remembrance, not positive history. So I think I would agree. Wonder Boy is second. Sigazale is third in terms of that category. So if you do the math...
What's the math? What's the formula? What's the formula saying?
the formula that is never wrong has concluded that the winner of this game is going to be Wonder Boy.
Oh.
Now...
I'm sorry, Wonder Boy, that what we've done.
I'm sorry,
I apologize.
Oh, no.
This is our fault. This is on you, Wonder Boy.
This could be the first week it is right. I think so. Or, okay, one thing we haven't considered in the algorithm is because we keep saying publicly, this guy's probably going to win, people might, go into the game differently.
That's
so maybe
possible.
We need to pick the second place person, which in this case is Sigazale.
But now you just cursed him also.
But now people are going to think about Sigazale. Okay. But first was Wonder Boy, second Sigazale, third was Joel, and fourth was Igawala. And that's just the algorithm. But JD, I mean, who would you wager for our little game of guessing? Who will take this one home?
I think this one's actually difficult because I think there's quite a few rookies here, and I think recently you've had to look at the locker room. Like, guys, their team I think has played a big success. I believe the Beavers have a good locker room, but also Igawala, I don't know how much experience he has, and I think it's gonna be a little difficult. I'm going with, and this isn't because of the formula. Actually, no. I'm going Sigazale. I'm feeling a dragon win. I'm feeling a change of scenery with the captain. I'm going Sigazale.
Okay.
I feel he gets his win here.
That could be interesting. I'm going to say it. I think it's Joel. I mean, I know that's kind of the layup answer. Maybe that's a little bit of a cop-out, but I would put my money behind Joel. I mean, he's got 2 wins. He's got the most experience. And I think one thing we haven't considered is he's got Gideon behind him.
Yeah.
Like that means that Joel's going to be really good in politics. He's going to probably be very well paced. Combine that with his experience. I mean, there's not like a much better guy to be behind you than Gideon.
I agree.
I did hear that Serial will be Igawala's main supporter because actually Ryan Jogerst on the Beavers, this might have contributed to Igawala playing, but Ryan Jogerst has his senior night on Friday.
Oh.
So Drew is going to be there, obviously, as he should. So it's going to be Serial and Igawala. I don't know about that duo. And then it's going to be Wonder Boy and Python, which is pretty good chemistry. But then there's the new Captain Tribesman behind Sigazale. I really think Joel and Gideon is that dynamic duo that to me really, at least I think they've got the highest odds, but I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like to me that we're betting against the formula now instead of going with it.
Wait a minute. You haven't been right a single time.
You haven't either.
I haven't been right a single time. The formula hasn't been right a single time, but we haven't picked what the formula... Has it been the last 2 weeks?
Wait.
The person that none of us pick has won?
Wait.
That's insanity.
I think you're right. Wait. No. The formula picked... Who did the formula pick week 1? Dr. Nate?
Yes, Dr. Nate.
But then you also picked Dr. Nate.
I picked DNA Nick.
Oh my gosh.
You picked...
And I picked...
Did you pick Dr. Nate?
Oh, I did pick Dr. Nate. No,
Okay.
I did pick Dr. Nate.
You didn't pick King of the Monkeys?
I didn't pick King of the Monkeys.
Okay.
So it was it was still a 50-50 shot, and we didn't get it, or the algorithm didn't get it. And then week 2, we picked 3 of the 4 guys, and the guy who wasn't picked.
Wow, that's crazy. So based off of that, Igawala wins.
I mean, if this is true, I think there has something to do with people
superstition?
watching this and targeting the people that we choose. I don't know.
It's got to be an experiment. 1 week, if to test it, we should do what we don't think, but not tell them.
Oh, write it down. And
See if that.
right.
Yeah, a little experiment, social experiment here.
I kind of want to go back now and go back to last season and check how many times I said the Bears were going to win every time we played, and see if that played a
What
factor.
the superstition odds? Yeah.
I'm kind of scared though. I had pretty
It's
bad
interesting.
odds. I don't know. I picked
Maybe.
the same people to win very often.
Maybe. Well, I mean, thank you guys for watching this episode of the official Board Wars podcast. Which superstition do you think will be true? Before we go, JD, I mean, what do you got to say about watching this game on Friday night?
Yeah, I mean this game's gonna be epic. We got a legend in the house, 2 rookies, and Wonder Boy coming up right under his brother Python, coming vice captain. This is gonna be a good battle here. The algorithm has picked 1 guy. We're choosing 2 other guys. There's 1 other guy that doesn't get picked. Does he win? We'll see.
You heard it here. We'll see you next week.